Ah, the holidays. A magical time of joy and cheer, and let's be honest, sometimes a sprinkle of family drama, financial stress, and a dash of seasonal affective disorder. Does that sound familiar? If so, this is the episode for you. We're tackling how to support others and yourself through the mental gymnastics that are the holidays. So, by the end of the episode, I hope you'll have some practical tips, maybe a laugh or two, and hopefully not feel like you're navigating this season alone. So stick around. Welcome to the Suicide Prevention Lady podcast, where we make intervention easy. I'm your host, Dr. Rikki Turner. I am a suicide intervention expert. Please take note, I am the thinky kind of doctor, and I am not a medical professional. So please do not take anything in this podcast as medical advice. Today, we're talking about surviving and thriving during the holidays for both you and the people that you love, because nothing says holiday cheer like helping your loved ones avoid a mental breakdown or, having one yourself. So the first thing I want to talk about, we're going to break this into two different parts. The first is we're going to support others, because that is the theme of the podcast, but we're also going into the holidays. So the second half will focus on helping you get through the holidays, especially if you know that you are someone that is triggered by whatever the holidays may bring you. So let's begin with supporting other people's mental health. Not everybody's holiday season looks like a Hallmark movie. In fact, most of us, there's a lot of sensitive landmines that we have to navigate. Okay. I know we see all the holiday movies and we see all the holiday cheer and everybody's like, happy holidays, everybody, spend time with family. Well, some of us don't have very good family. Some of us may not have family at all. Some of us, this brings up some really old wounds. So we have to be very cognizant of that. So we don't want to assume that people are going to have this wonderful, magical holiday time, because it can be really, really hard for some people. So the first thing that you need to do when thinking about, okay, going into the holidays, I want to be sensitive to those that may be in my circle that may not be having the best time with this, or may not want to experience the holidays. They'd rather just hit the fast forward button and be through with it. So the first thing I need you to do is just take an inventory of who's in your circle. Who do you know that struggles with the holidays? Or who do you know that may have had a situation change that they might have loved the holidays before, but this one might be particularly hard? Who has less than an optimal relationship with their family? How does everyone tend to act during the holidays? This will give you a good barometer of what to expect and where your support will go the farthest. So, those people who just love the holidays and they exude. My son is one of them. He listens to Christmas music year round. He looks so much forward to the holiday season. And that's wonderful. And I hope it always stays magical for him. But for a lot of people, it's a lot of, it's a lot of obligation. It's a lot of shame. And we don't want to just run headfirst into that. So we kind of have to prepare ourselves. And it helps if you have somebody who's supportive there with you. So pay attention to the types or the signs of stress, withdrawal, or overwhelmed with your loved ones. If you have someone that's dreading the holidays, or mentions being stressed, or amps up the self-deprecating jokes during this time, it's probably good to check in on them and offer some extra support. Now I can say offer some extra support and you can be like, yeah, Rikki, but how? That's fine. So here's one aspect of this. Instead of asking them, are you okay? Which, let's be honest, that's code for you look terrible. Or it can be kind of pitying in a way. It's meant well. It's nice. If it's all you have at the moment, it'll work. But try something like, hey, how's everything going for you this time of year? Or just like a gentler lead into, hey, are you okay? Or how are you doing? Like it seems, especially, let me give you a for instance. Let's say you are a parent or a family member and you lost somebody near to you, and this is your first holiday without them. Going up to somebody they already are coming in feeling like all eyes are on them and they have to act a certain way in order to avoid all of that. So find a different way to check in on them and see if they're okay. A fun one that I like to ask people especially when they're stressed, is if you had a magic wand and you could make something different about this holiday season, what would you do? What would you do with that magic wand? Shove it up somebody's ass is probably not the best answer, but it'll at least give you some insight into where the stress is. It gives some insight into the stressors without seeming like you're prying or accusing them of looking like they've been run over by a reindeer. Now, for the love of Santa, don't try to fix it with, we'll focus on the positives, or I'm sure everything will be fine. Those are things to make you feel better. It's not things that make them feel better. This is the time to listen without judgment and offer specific support to them. We want to stay away from the, well, you let me know if you need anything. And I know I've talked about this on previous episodes, but it bears repeating. When we say, let me know if you need anything, that is the absolute bare minimum that you can do to help somebody. It's almost like doing nothing at all, honestly. Now, the reason for that is, think about it. When is the last time somebody has taken you up on that? It's very, very rare, because you're putting the onus of responsibility onto somebody who is already stressed, who is already feeling shame. And let's be honest, asking for help is not the best way to get help to somebody. When we tell them they have to ask for the help, it's just unfair. It's asking the wounded person, it's asking the person with the 2 broken legs to walk themselves to the hospital. Can it happen? Yeah. It's going to hurt and be very, very hard. It's much different. It's like, hey, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to take you there. So instead of saying the same thing that 90% of people say, but end up not really meaning it, be specific based on what you've learned in the conversation. Things like, can I take care of a grocery run for you? Or would you like me to watch the kids while you take a nap? I love wrapping presents. Could I come by and wrap presents for you? Do you need a buddy to Christmas shop? We can get coffee and judge others while we shop. That'd be fun. You could say, I love to go look at Christmas lights and drinking hot chocolate. I'm going Tuesday night. Can I pick you up to come with? Make it easy for them to say yes to whatever the thing is. Okay. One of my favorite things, because let's be honest, a lot of times it's not necessarily the preparation, it's the actual going and being around the people. Because as much as we love our families, they can say really stupid stuff that is harmful and hurtful, and they don't realize how hurtful and harmful it is, right? So if you know you're going with somebody that is the butt of jokes or a target or whatever, then you can set up a code word with them. That's the signal that they would like out of the situation that they are currently in. Are they going to go to a super judgy family member's gathering and need an escape route? Have them text you a code word or call you with an emergency and you go pick them up. I can pretend to be all kinds of things. If that's what is needed to get you out of a sticky situation, happy to do so. And I will come up with some dramatic things to call you with, okay? If you're at the same gathering and you know grandma is getting on her shit again, you can offer a diversion or go rescue them from the situation. I've done that too. It's like, oh, uh-oh. She's hang on just 1 second and I'll go over and be like, oh my God, come here, I need you. And then just yank them. No one's going to argue with that. And it diverts the situation. Or you can, drop the pie or something and create your own diversion. There's lots of ways to help in this situation. There's lots of ways to get people out of these situations that are harmful and hurtful to them as a person. So the bottom line is that you want to be the support system that provides relief, not the one offering relief just as long as you know how to access it. This doesn't include peppering them with unsolicited advice or toxic positivity. No. Another thing is setting boundaries is super helpful for people, but a lot of us don't know how to, especially during the holidays. So we have to learn to say no to things, and we can help people say no to things. So if you're working with somebody or somebody's in your circle and they are constantly bringing up that they're dreading this or that they're overwhelmed or any number of different things. Sometimes the best way to support others is to encourage them to say no to things that drain them. We don't have to accept every invitation to a party. We don't have to participate in every Secret Santa. We can absolutely suddenly become ill and not go to the family gathering that's going to belittle us or make us feel less than. That's okay. And sometimes people need to hear that from a trusted friend, that it's okay. And another way to do that is, I am so sorry, I have had something come up. Again, let you be the excuse. You're close to them. So say, I want to be there so bad, and I'm so sorry, but my friend is really going through something hard right now. Make up whatever that is, doesn't matter. I'll mail you guys the gifts, but I can't be there. I got to take care of them. And now you're the hero. So another thing, especially this year, that's going to be challenging for a lot of people is this was a particularly contentious election year. And the golden rule here is we don't talk about religion or politics at family gatherings, and almost no one sticks to that. So being aware that some of our more marginalized friends are likely very much dreading this because they may have had family members that voted against their best interests. And this goes the other way around too. It could be that there are some super liberal families out there and you have the one or two really conservative ones, and then they get ganged up on. And no one likes that. No one feels safe and welcome when that happens. So consider helping them set some ground rules. And if you know you have the marginalized person or somebody that's really going to get the brunt end of this, you can do it for them. Because, if you're the quote unquote whiny liberal or something and you say, can we have some ground rules before we get together? It might not be met with the best. But if you have somebody else looking out for you, you can and say, this year, for all of our sanity, and because Tums are getting kind of expensive, can we all agree to no election talk? And if they can't agree to that, then you don't have to go, because that is a very reasonable request. You can also make it a fun game. If you want to keep that talk to a minimum and make sure everybody's feeling welcome, instead of a swear jar, have an election jar. Every time someone brings up the election, they have to pay the jar, or maybe have a centralized cash app or something. At the end of the night, those who never brought up the election are put into a raffle and someone gets to take home the pot. How exciting. Merry Christmas. If you have someone at the gathering that's especially triggered by political conversations, try to keep an eye out for them and suddenly need them anytime the air feels kind of MAGA-y, Lastly, I want you to support with empathy. No matter who you voted for, if you voted at all, please recognize that for some, the election may have deep personal implications. It's not just politics. It's about identity. It's about safety. It's about values. If someone is scared about the next 4 years, listen to them with empathy. Don't minimize their worries or drown them in platitudes or remind them about the cost of bacon and eggs. Listen and say, I can see this is really upsetting for you. How can I support you? Or, I don't think this conversation is healthy for either of us right now, but you know what is healthy? Aunt Joe's banana pudding. Would you like some? There's all kinds of ways that we can just steer away from it where it doesn't end up a yelling match and, food fight at Aunt's house. But let's talk about supporting your own mental health, because some of this overlaps. Some of it is our own mental health that needs to be supported during this time. And I don't want to minimize that either. So the first thing I want you to do is lower your expectations of yourself. Okay? You don't have to be Martha Stewart. Burnt cookies, totally charming. Don't worry about it. Gift cards for everyone. Yay! Capitalism and your sanity win today. A gift everybody loves? Cash. It's an easy one. You can wrap it in a tampon box and watch Aunt Mildred clutch her pearls. How fun. The holidays aren't a Pinterest competition, so it's okay to do your best. And let's talk about what your best may be. I have come to terms, I've always believed that my best is 100% of what I'm capable of. And then I'll beat myself up for not meeting that mark. But the truth is, our best is what is available, giving the best of what is available to us at the time. There are days where 20% of my productivity, of my normal productivity, is all that I am able to give to the world. And I will give you 100% of that. Some days I am ultra productive and I can knock out things that would take other people a week to do. And I can do that in a day easily. And on those days, I'm still giving 100% because that's what I have available to me. So assess yourself in the morning at any given part of the day. I'm like, okay, what can I truthfully do today? What is 100% for me today? What does that mean? And then go with it. If this was a holiday not a holiday competition, if the holidays were a Pinterest competition, I would have lost, I don't know. I don't even know when Pinterest came around, but circa that time is when I would have lost. People will believe those cookies aren't store-bought as long as you put them in a Tupperware before you leave. So no worries. Okay. Find other ways around it. You don't have to live with it. Protect your own energy too. Be picky about who you spend your time with. Do you really have to attend Cousin Greg's ugly sweater karaoke extravaganza? Probably not. Are you the black sheep of your family and you know your mom is going to be on your case the whole time? So much that you know you'll come home to a bottle of Pinot Grigio and openly weeping to Dirty Dancing. Maybe get a stomach bug the morning of. No one wants you shitting all over the place at Christmas. Tell them you'll mail any gifts you have and wish them all the best and give yourself a break this year. Another good one is mastering the Irish goodbye. This is my favorite move, and I'm beginning to be well known for it. So if you aren't familiar, this is when you show up, you come in, your lovely, jolly self, you speak with everybody, you make sure you are seen, go ahead and make your plate, and then get in your car and leave. Do not say goodbye to anybody. Do not make a big deal out of anything. If somebody sees you going to the door and be like, hey, I'll be right back in just a second. And then just keep going, get in your car and leave. Slip out and do not come back. When they finally call or text you, make up some emergency, enjoy your plate in peace. Or say, oh, I must have missed you when I said goodbye. Doesn't matter. Just get out. It's fine. Another thing that stresses us out during the holiday season is finances. We feel like we have to give everybody something. We can't just do a homemade gift or something like that. We've got to do something extravagant. We don't want to be seen as cheap or thoughtless or whatever. Who cares? This is obligatory gift season. That's what I call it. And I despise that aspect of it. Truly. You don't have to bankrupt yourself to make the holidays meaningful. You can suggest a Secret Santa instead of everyone buying for everyone. That is one of the worst things. It's like, I see you once a year. How on earth do I know what you want for Christmas or what you could need? And I cannot handle another blanket or slippers or robe or whatever. It's always the same kind of things. It's like, oh, it's a default gift. I would rather not get anything and not have to find a place for it at home or re-gift it to somebody else. Homemade gifts are super charming and can be way more affordable. You don't know what to get your parents or grandparents? They all love getting pictures of their kids and grandkids, and that's super cheap. Or pick an expensive gift that you'd like to give them, but split it between several people so they can get one cool gift instead of a bunch of slippers, ties, blankets, whatever. Insert whatever common gift it is here. Be creative, but remember, if friends or family expect a nice gift from you or would be upset if it isn't, that's a trash friend and you deserve better. Don't even worry about it. Take time for yourself this season. Schedule in some you time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, go get a pedicure, go to a spa. That's not realistic. You can draw a bubble bath if that's something that you like. You can get a good book. You can put your phone on Do Not Disturb and watch Netflix until your eyes bug out. You can go hide in the pantry and eat cookies in peace. Whatever works for you, hon. Doesn't matter to me. What are you doing to protect your peace during this time? You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are giving, and doing nothing for yourself, it's going to lead to burnout and resentment and could lead to depression and worse. So Take a stand on saying no to things that you don't want to do and schedule in time for you to do the things that bring you joy. Now, I live and breathe by my Google Calendar. If Google doesn't tell me to do it, I'm not likely to do it. But what I've noticed is I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go on a walk and meditate, because I meditate better in walking. And the second somebody needs something in the time that I was going to do that, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, I can do that. And I'll move my appointments around with myself. Why am I any less important than they are? The answer is I'm not. And if I know that's going to make me feel better and me be able to give to others in a more authentic way and show up and not be an irritable asshole, then that's what I need to do. So I will put it on my calendar that this is the time I'm going on a walk. And that's just like meeting with the CEO. It's that important, because I am just as important as they are. And so are you. So remember, self-care is crucial. Even Santa needs a break from the elves. All right. Now, let's get back on that election conversation. You do not have to engage. If Cousin Betty wants to argue, feel free to politely bow out. You can say, I'm here for family, not debates, and exit stage left. You can say, let's take a vote on whether this conversation continues. All in favor of pie, raise your hand. You can do whatever. You can make it humorous. You can be direct. You can simply walk away. That is a fun one. Just as soon as they bring up the election, just walk away. If they follow you and they keep doing it, just keep walking away. They'll get the hint eventually. All right. Now, if the conversation goes sideways, you find yourself in it regardless because you can't help it, it's okay to take a breather. Excuse yourself, step outside, find a quiet corner, and recenter. Do whatever you have to. Or, again, revisit that Irish goodbye idea from before, because it's a good one. Now, let's talk about setting your own personal boundaries. It's okay. You have permission. If you need permission, it's from me right now. I'm not comfortable discussing this, and redirect the conversation. Kids and pets, always a great thing to talk about. Everybody loves to talk about their kids or their pets or both. Go that route. If not, what wonderful weather we're having. Please tell me about your insane cat collection. Whatever, doesn't matter. If they say something racist, homophobic, fatphobic, or just plain mean, ask them, what did you mean by that? And then make intense eye contact while they stumble over their words. It's fun. It really is. If you can embrace this, it's really fun. Or just keep asking, what makes you think that? Why? And just keep going until they finally stumble onto the point themselves that they're being an asshole. It is amazing to watch this in action. Practice on each other if you want, but it is super fun. So this holiday season, what I want us to do is all commit to being kinder to others and to ourselves. Kindness is not necessarily being nice. Being nice is bottling up our feelings and just letting crazy Aunt Betty go on when what she's saying is harmful. Being kind is putting a stop to that and just saying, I'm not really comfortable with this, or I don't think I understand what you mean. Can you explain that further? And just continuing until they understand that I'm not a safe person to say this stuff to. Check in on the people around you and give yourself permission to take a break. Skip the drama if you can. Eat the extra cookie if you want it. You've earned it. It's okay. Whatever gets us through this time is perfect. Now, if this episode resonated with you, or you know somebody that's like, oh, they need to hear this, share it with somebody who might need that extra holiday cheer, and a reminder that it's okay to take care of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, because your support helps keep spreading this message far and wide. So I want to also point out that's a wrap for season 1 of the Suicide Prevention Lady podcast. I want to thank all of you guys for being a part of this journey and for letting me invade your ears with mental health talk, humor, and hopefully a little bit of wisdom. Now, I will see you in 2025 for season 2. I do not have a launch date yet, but I am myself going to take a break over the holiday season, and I am going to practice what I preach. I'm currently taking ideas for future episodes, though, including new guests or new topics for me to cover. So, do you have an idea? It could be a solo episode. You just want me to talk about something. Do you have a specific situation that you would like me to talk through? Email it to me. My email address is Rikki, RIKKI, at stillyourrise.com. You can also leave a comment. There are contact forms on my website. However it is that you need to get a hold of me is fine. I also, my P.O. box, you can write to me as well. My P.O. box is in my TikTok profile and on my website as well. So I want to leave you with this analogy as we head into the holidays. And as you're catching up on episodes you might have missed while we are apart. So otters are my favorite animal. They're so cute and playful. But my favorite things about them is how they hold hands while they're sleeping in the river, so they don't float away from each other. How adorable is that? It's such a beautiful symbol of how we should be treating others and how we all need someone to hold our hand so we don't drift away. So this holiday season, I want you to think about how you are holding others' hands so we all make it out alive. I love you all so much. I'll see you next year on the Suicide Prevention Lady podcast, where we continue to learn how to intervene with ease.